out of the tournament. They have to get ready for stage 2.
Okay.
Like that
yeah,
is
dude,
the
that is
spot
mental
that
though.
decided to
Vitality,
pick this off. And there you go.
one map away
What
from
I
getting
was mentioning is
7th,
that since the Star Partnership,
and
FUT has always
FUT,
made that second master of
one
each
map
year
for
since they've been in. So
chat. So
this
who
is
would
a
FUT
squad
play?
that is
They play
looking
the
to make
loser
that
of
lower
Heretics
bracket
BBL,
run. Is
right?
looking to have made improvements since
Or,
adding
well, I
in
guess
Zeus.
whoever
And you
wins
know
it.
what? They are looking to get straight off to the races safe. Will do a lot of early damage, but he's also taken a lot of early damage.
Tianajay with the opening pressure on him, though.
Yeah, and like we said, this comes very good at A hits.
Seems to be theirs. They still have to cross through, though. Zeus dealt with, and that'll at
So you
least
might see
get
him
a plant out
spam
of
a
this
lot of A
situation.
until they kind of get
3
stomped.
versus 4. Vitality of so many players inches away from death.
Both comps are kind of reversed. Vitality's comps insane at A hits, but comps insane at B hits.
Best looking to try and get back around, but it's already Durka within that site. Managing to get it to half. They've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, this smoke gets scary. Oh boy. Just.
From behind, Krax has managed to find some though. That time is ticking away. Less is going to be revealed. He knows roughly where he is. Needs to land the shot.
No way.
Left to get a freebie.
Dude, he tried to kill him with just 3 instead of reloading.
That's tough. One more bullet there, and maybe he would have had him a few shot into the abyss. 1-0 for Vitality, and a much-needed pistol round to set them on course. They need to bounce back on Split and take us to Ascent, where they will then fight to continue this lower bracket run. As you said, Tom, elimination on the line, and this is the map that could send them home. Big risks, the composition they've brought to bear. And all eyes are going to be on Safe. How this Yoru is going to be put to play.
Okay, 2-1 on the
by
pistols.
Vitality. How he can perform now that he's on that duel list.
Yeah, Safe gets to go at it.
Mr. falling down and almost a second.
But that has been, I think, part of the downfall of his individual ability, has been playing roles where he's less about I'm the tip of the spear, I'm the aggro, I'm the first guy taking the fight. So I think putting him back into this position, it gives a lot of opportunities, calling from the front rather than from the lineups or the setups, which has been on the
Why is
tail.
the compensating A hits? It's more just down to the actual fade itself. No good fade eyes that kind of clear all of this, so you kind of have safe pathing, whereas like the fade eye at the top of here is like insane.
Almost manages to get the job done, but
so like you can double entry as a fade, hits here, you got 2 options of where you want to TP, and then the Raze can just send it in. Like the only place this fade eye doesn't clear is like this corner. That's it. You got 2 corners, and with that as well, the Prowler clears the first one. So it's more just about initiating. And then you look over at the FUT comp, this initiator, right, goes back aside so you can TP back aside safe.
Some of that supportive utility has been fantastic. Seavoff, we've
Just,
already seen
it's just the
early round
initiator
lurks
death,
on the
basically.
Omen, being able to take a lot of that later space as your opponents, at least in their mind, hopefully overreact to the direct
Yeah,
play
try and
in the
get
early
that
rounds.
ult early for Durka. Might work out.
Like Haven comp work initially was okay. We're just gonna take, say,
Lovely.
one of the best duelists in the
Durka
world
one
last
away,
year, or at
and
least
definitely
in
snowball
EMEA,
this.
and then we're gonna take Durka and put him on a duelist, probably the best duelist in EMEA last year. So it's like it feels like a band-aid fix, but one that could very much work for them.
Especially if you're not ready for it. And then look, if they came in today on FUT thinking, yeah, Safe might pick up the Yoru here on Split, then someone needs a raise. Maybe everyone does.
Good.
I reckon guys somehow saw it coming.
Nice.
Ninja, what are you
He knew it was
typing
going to
in?
happen someday, but did he know it would be today? 2-0, and FUT pulling out the rifles. Vitality are in a very healthy position. This is effectively a full buy with Seavoff picking up the
I've seen his
mantle
movement though,
of
so
that
maybe.
Marshall. But now there's a rifle on the floor. Zeus winning the battle of the Yorus when it comes to the full buys, setting them up with a man advantage early.
But yeah, that is the difference though, is that I think we can expect that Safe is going to be hard to play against, but Zeus at times is the hardest player in the league to play against. Individually, whether things have gone well or bad for FUT, it seems like a lot of the time he has been there.
Okay, well they didn't actually create pressure over towards mid.
Oh, just yesterday.
And they're about to insta-clear over
some
towards
flashes in the
B.
pan, even when
So
they weren't able to take that victory
pressure,
over Fnatic.
pressure. Prowler goes out. Oh, this is nice. The
man
Prowler
down
does
already,
create pressure over
3
towards here though,
rifles
but
in
with the
hand.
re-clear over towards B and getting early info, they should stick
Was
3 over towards A,
players
especially as
on
this
the A
Prowler
side.
hits.
I think
Where are you going?
a little
Gets
bit of
you.
extra information might just pull one back.
Now we've got Deep information as you're highlighting towards B. Passive heaven control on B as well. In fact, just passive control across the board. Really respect
here comes
some
the
of that
Fade-Eye.
early dueling ability that Vitality have. Holding on the site. That nade, though, is going to force Cracks into the open. A Battle Dirk is happy to take. Site now under pressure. Zeus comes in to fill the gap.
Got 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Zeus just wins this round,
They
right?
need to make a move. Although now he's been spotted. No more element of
why don't I
surprise.
talk,
Big swing
bro?
from Seavoff. They found their pick, but they need the plant. 6 seconds on the clock and out of ammo.
Oh god,
Yenajay
everything's
goes
ugly,
down,
man.
But they've managed to get that plant in. Seavoff 1v2.
Oh,
he
boy.
needed that onto
Okay,
Captain
so
immediately.
good.
But he's picked
Jesus.
off, and the round goes to FUT. A narrow margin in it, though.
If they'd lost another round to running out of ammo, I would have lost my mind.
Oh,
That would have been a rough one, but no, a good resurgence in the end, and clearly Vitality very happy to leave it late. Maybe having that
Sonya, what do you
expectation,
mean?
Okay, someone's going to overpeak.
It should have happened like that.
Thinking back to Fracture, that was happening every single round. Like they were taking those fights, but it was calm and methodical in the end. And that'll be enough, but of course, still going to be a repurchase here. Now, Dirk has got off to a decent start. Showstopper already online, something he can look to implement in the early round.
This is the round. They did enough
Already
damage
looking
to
like
mean
a
that we got 1,
battle
2, 3.
for
They
this
can't
mid
buy next.
control.
Obviously, if they lose, we've got 1, 2. They can't buy next. So Dirk needs to be using his ult into this round. The thing that didn't really happen at middle was like a confirmed question mark from them. This one, however, that'll do it. Block vision, actually get into vents. Fade-Eye didn't get broken in reaction to losing middle. Insta drone over towards B. They got early info,
Got some map control to bounce off of the springboard into. Trying to make up for what they've lost.
That is not the best
Aggressive is
TP.
his main aggro, actually.
Especially if they
Players,
lose
Mr.
Heaven.
Fallen and out of Captain
Like this
pushing
double
up.
push though.
I don't know that they're going to stop.
It's going to come down to how much can Zeus do. In fact, it's not.
Yeah, I like that he takes the TP early
Gets
here.
the info.
Definitely the best thing to do with what was going on.
Doesn't have a lot of support, and the timing here for Safe is everything. If he can find Cracks, it could be huge, but instead he's also just ducked back.
Cracks
towards
gets the
site
kill,
with
he has
this
Fatal.
mid-flank coming. The longer Vitality take, the more
Dude, look at the double
terrifying
push from B
this
right now.
position comes.
They're going to be
Of course,
very fast
That
behind.
Showstopper is still available for the entry.
They heard
Yeah,
that gate
he
crash.
had the
They
TP.
know
We
that
didn't
he's
break it on site.
Potentially going to TP onto the site.
Dude, he didn't
nice
break it
pick
on
by
site.
Cracks. Clay pigeon shooting, finding
just
that
let him
TP,
take the
very
TP.
much expected, but less.
That's funny.
Gets the element of surprise up top, pounces for a double, but that's all he'll get. Seavoff in a familiar position, but the spike not planted this time.
Okay,
and
shout out to
players
FUT though.
everywhere.
FUT were incredibly
Great adjustment by
proactive.
FUT.
Lose middle.
You gotta give it to
Insta push
Cracks.
over
That was a
towards B.
nasty
No one
shot.
over towards B.
I think
Double
the
push all
weird
the way
thing for
through.
Vitality
Got that
is
info
you just
early.
come out of that
3-person
Fracture
stack.
game expecting
Saw
your
the
opponents to
TP,
be
had the
ridiculously
TP.
aggressive, and this has been
Was a
the
nice
most
shot.
patient and calm FUT I've ever seen in my life. Really slowly taking B main control.
Sergeant
They're using
George, thank you
paranoia
so much.
smokes, they're even
Thank you
keeping
with the
that
12
control.
months.
Then you have the initial aggression
Sergeant
that comes
even
out
we should
from
be
Zeus.
saying, thank you so much for the 12 months, mate.
I don't fancy taking this fight. I will fade away. The guy that was running it down A main every round on the defensive side has gone.
Vitality
no,
here?
I will
Yeah,
fall
another
back
rough
to
round.
site and
I agree
play
with you.
nice and calm.
Okay, big
And so he
change up.
gets down to
Insta
the
A hit
22nd
again. That
mark
comes
there,
pretty good at
going in
over.
blind, and now he's back to his old tricks. Knowing he's up against a low buy, all right, I'm going to brawl.
And last round as well, just to say, the fact that Cracks gets pressured by your
Do we
player
not know
Dirk
in
or
our
diving
fast
in
A
with
that the
ult,
smoke
he has to
is
fall back out of that top
heaven
position,
and
but he
not
knows
here?
when that gate crash
What
that he's been
the-
warning about for 30 seconds now, when that comes in, Zeus will be the one to take that player down. He emerges from the smoke just in time while Cracks is covering the main walkout. A beautiful trade-off of responsibilities, and that just comes with trust and playing with each other a lot. You can see now FUT 2-2, man advantage, and passive plays up against these weaker weapons. The danger is Mr. Fallen. For second there, they could have pushed up as a unit, 3 players blitzing into him, but he's again created that extra little bit of space.
Stun to slow them down.
Salvo's
And a
on.
passive fallback.
Another insta push over
Captain
towards
coming in
B, and
from
they
behind.
might
The
do this
problem, though,
every
is
single time. Looks like they got a really good read on him.
to the party. Mr. Fallen's goal once again is just to try and slow
I
them
mean,
down
mate,
as much as
you're in
possible, but
trouble,
he's
bro.
under some serious pressure.
Dude, where is everyone?
Smoke will be
Let's
there
go
to
onto the
cover him
site.
and still just surviving within this smoke, even potentially going to go through it. That's the spike on the ground. Another coming up without a captain, finally making that long rotation through. Well, only one standing. Sevov in these same positions again and again and again.
Bacon, are you still here? Bacon, give me a 1 out of 10 for what you think of this round.
Even the smoke going down from
10's a masterpiece. 1 is you never want to watch it again.
Allowing for this player on site, Mr. Fallen, to
gave it a 0. Yeah, pretty solid.
While he completes the wraparound through middle, knowing even if they were in mid, they would, which they were not long ago when he pushed B main, they were. But that they would have to go towards the site. Maxi's dealing
I'm in
with
trouble.
one player
I'm
with a
in
weaker
trouble.
weapon. And in fact, he was dealing with none.
I'm in trouble. You watch that round, you say, I'm in trouble.
With Mr. Fallen. Beautiful play. And 3-2 as a result. The lead is now there for FUT.
We're not looking at... we're missing something here, Des.
Angle slightly off, I suppose.
The interesting thing with this is that Vitality have basically, other than Astra for Omen, they've taken the Fnatic
modifying footage
from yesterday that beat FUT, like using the exact same composition. The thing is, I think Fnatic are always very good at those very late-round executions. Whereas so far for Vitality, it has just been
is it the one on Reddit, the train one? I've seen that.
In that regard, and although sure, FUT haven't had a mass amount of time
it's a classic.
From yesterday, you've kind of given them an
my girlfriend watched it earlier.
From the mistakes.
Exactly. You think they've come in here with no idea what went wrong yesterday? It's going to be most of what they talked about.
No idea what's going on.
The reality is, we'll see that in the second half. If I remember correctly, the Fnatic game, it was FUT struggling on the attack. I think 4 rounds in the first half. So we'll see if they maybe need a really big margin coming out of this one. I don't know where the expectations are to be set, but again, with the learning from the previous day, Vitality
that's what I'm talking about, Yumpy.
Not just in that second half, but in this round as well. With Kicks and Durka down,
you're feeling great for tomorrow after that as well.
The super passive hold that FUT have shown in almost every round towards this A site so far. They are playing back, allowing Vitality to take the space, confident on their crunches after. With cracks down, there's still more players than they should have.
Dude, this guy's aim sometimes is the sickest thing to watch. Oh, bro. Oh god, that's so nice, dude. That's so nice.
4-2 on the board with money.
That second kill is sick.
Attacking side.
All I'm gonna say is Sevov's clutch statistics are getting blitzed in this map. He's been in like 3-4 already. 1v3 scenarios at the end of rounds.
1v3, and now this.
This one was actually tougher because you had those early fights into middle. It was something we mentioned that the defensive side were leaving pressure around that part of the map, and they get 2 openings. The second that happens, it almost looks like it's done. And well, Vitality are going to take themselves a pause.
Yeah, dude, you guys need a timeout. You can't be showing me this in your map pick.
For that defense, and a lot of them have looked incredibly comfortable for FUT.
I have one real question, and that's, do you think that Yedishe gets that loud in scrims as well? There's no way, right? No man's throat can withstand that amount of screaming.
No. Maybe when they're trying to replicate match days.
I'm going to bring this up again. Do you remember the last time we casted Ascent?
I do, yeah.
Oh, was he chill? It was chill for 48 rounds.
We went into round 45. It was still the same level.
Probably longer than most of his scrims.
That's practice. That's practice. And the most impressive thing is there's never a voice crack. There's never a break. Push him to the limits.
I don't know. I think he's got a place in a rock band after this.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's heavy metal. He's got some screaming ahead of him on the mic. That's for sure. Not just on the server. 4-2. It is a bit of a screamer for FUT. They're looking good, they're feeling good, and the advantages keep on stacking with ults now in play. Vitality on a weaker buy as well.
Don't be tight. Don't be doing that when he's about to come 7th to 8th.
Grand final. Center of the regular season, looking to try and lead the charge with the Bucky.
Great. It's a great money.
Fortunately, he's already been somewhat denied. Now Zeus has been switching up his position almost every single round. I think Les managed to get quite a bit of ground.
Okay, a bit of a change up from Vitality. Looks like they actually might be pressuring over towards B main as well. It should be helping them. Because the push behind in reaction to losing middle has been... It's been a nightmare.
Could have been nice, but I think the screen unfortunately fading. And once again, you've got almost full A ramp control, full B control, mid currently open, but they are well aware of it on the FUT side. Where is the opening for Vitality? Because they haven't found it yet.
Yeah, this late stage play again, gate crash back to A site, but normally they haven't been keeping as aggressive control of Heaven. It could be their downfall against this weaker play. The fact that you've got Yedushay holding on to that control to play up from vents, they can put pressure on from every side. That's what Vitality tried to do. Try and fail. As those players in vent fall, as this round seems to come crumbling down, 20 seconds again, feeling the pressure of that clock. As we get deep into the round, 14 seconds, they need to get a move on. And we know that this site is stacked heavy every time.
I feel like I've seen this round 3 times already. 15 seconds, 3 over towards heaven.
They can bleed the credits, maybe not dry, but a little bit lower.
That ends the same.
Fortunately, Zeus with a 3-piece. Let's 5-2 on the board.
He used this dimensional drift just for safety, just to make sure that they had the right read, which they did. But I like this setup. Like, you've had that sort of crossfire in towards the vents. It's been a position that Vitality have been consistent.
Zeus hits a 3K. Yeah, no, we've actually seen this round 3 times.
Well, so far that double duelist, like the whole point
so they had a timeout.
Sort of raise Yoru is it's meant to throw your opponents into disarray.
Let's just hit A.
A moment where
Let's just hit A as the timeout call. It's time for something different. Let's just hit A. We've got a Yoru ult though, so it should be easy.
Looking to pick up the pace a little.
Again, this comp is good at going A, but they need to just site commit instead of going heaven so much.
Use the Nightfall just to try and get him out of there, and Safe has done what, but Yedushay has done even better.
Jesus.
It's 2 kills already.
Yeah, the VIT util's just too good.
Position. Safe managed to get past, but nobody else even made it into sight.
Dude, what happened to Duck here? You just double satchel over towards default and go right.
Where you're pushing through a smoke, running into open territory where you've got no idea what lurks around any of those corners. And this is a position where, hell, looking at the economy, you could see a save at this point. But normally there'd be a lot less time on the clock. A 1:15 save would be a new thing to see. I think they're resetting to try to hit the other side of the map.
You can't write, oh, this ruined another team. As hilarious as it is.
Pit, this is still winnable.
You can't be typing that.
Very much an uphill battle. At least they still have that, I suppose not second smoker, I suppose less is more the second smoker. But with the wall down, Seavoff being alive is essential to get them onto B site.
Yeah, the worry is most of the time when you avoid the A site, you won't be running into Zeus. But they are running into Zeus. Homed in on the angle, nice shot on the
hold
first.
up.
And a captain is there, but I don't think he wants to overface this one. Viper's Pit might be utilized.
That's
and a captain does want to do that.
TP out, time's a little low on this. You've got a flash as well. Got a little smoke to isolate the guy at the back.
They've only got 10 seconds to try and get this in. Paranoia being sent through.
All that.
TP behind.
Honestly, all that.
That's a nasty surprise. Seavoff. And another
Yeah,
one,
I like that version. That was cool.
Hasn't gone well.
Yeah, and even if Mr. Fallen loses that fight, second player won't be able to trade him out from behind that wood. A very nice play.
Because we have a Fatal, so I know we've got a great plan with this Fatal. So I'm ready to see
We talked about the ultimates, the Viper's Pit being one of the main things that could have given them something to, that's nasty. Could have given them something to play with. The reality
the Viper utility was sick though. Yedushay did great.
Very impactful once Yedushay has the pit. Mr. Fallen. Armageddon online. Nice, lad. For Vitality, well, they'll have to pray for something to go differently. This
need to get an Odyssey GL in here. Dude, I know you're kind of being sarcastic, but I'm telling you, Odyssey is actually really good at mid-rounding.
Since then, it is a sea of cyan with 6-2 on the board. FUT, they're taking everything except for prisoners.
Flash. Oh, actually, Duck has managed to correct his aim. That's a surprise. He gets away with that one. Tries to survive the second
get a
one.
little bit of info on this one. No, Duelist for a Duelist.
Battle for B main. Oh, Viper's Pit. Spam almost gets rid of Yedushay. You could see he's maybe a little bit nervous, but just wanted to make sure that, okay, when we haven't been able to capture B main as we have in every other round, I'll capture mid instead.
That early pick was nice, but Durka going down. Viper's Pit locking off mid.
Drone to clear over towards B once again. Sets one up.
The one thing is, Krax has just sent the Prowler through on A. He sees nothing with it and gets quite a bit of info, quite a bit of distance rather on that Prowler. This might make them think about
double
almond
smoke.
Towards that B side with the one
extra a strong sight here right here.
But he's still in position. The
hunt goes through. The
information now there. And never mind,
use
Mr.
one
Fallen
smoke, heaven, Prowler goes out. Fact, we think another 20 seconds, another 15 seconds. Hit over towards site.
So certain this will be an A play, and they couldn't be more right
15
about
seconds.
That.
Okay, now we hit the site.
It's such a huge error. No one shot the horn. They were too busy thinking about,
Ult's
okay,
pretty
who's
good.
gonna shoot it,
They
so
got to
we
commit
don't
over
give the full
towards
game
site.
away.
That'll speed him up.
And now they've got to try and run into a stack site. It's a bit of a whiff from Mr. Fallen, but the time is ticking once again. They managed to clear at least one of them.
Yeah, they got the time on this, though.
Down to the remaining two. One of the best scenarios we've seen for Vitality so far. Mistakes were definitely made, but they could look to rectify. Patient stuff, the trade back, and out of Captain finds him through the smoke.
It was a better look, but I'm not enjoying the 15-second sight hit over towards heaven. Doesn't feel great. I get that they got over towards sight, but
at the end of the round, out of Captain, you have earned it. 7-2.
It's all about FUT right now. 7-2. Opening pick even went against FUT, and they're able to recover. It was out of Captain to pick up the first piece and the last. That one,
that's painful.
That's caused issues. Even still, Mr. Fallen was still in position. They had that read. If it was shot, you still know there's players there.
I think Yedajay does leave his Viper's pit. That was the difference, is that you had an early rotation from Mr. Fallen anyway because of B main and because of mid, but he just leaves the Viper's pit because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's a chance he would have done that anyways just off it being broken, but without a Captain covering it. But it certainly pulled the trigger for them.
Norman Flash.
Big mistake.
Norman Flash
big
for Norman
cost
Flash.
paid.
They're having a
And
blind
Captain
duel.
was blind, and he
Whoa,
still
bro, he
turned
ate it. I expected
taking
TP.
another
Almost.
TP out, and it
I saw
almost
safe turn
works.
away,
The
almost.
picks go back the other way, though, for
That was
Vitality.
a sick idea, though.
3 versus 3 they've ended up in. A real chance.
Yeah, you
for
got
the
Salvos
attackers to
coming
pick
back
up a
soon.
round.
Okay, this is their better go, right?
Sure if safe actually
Looking like their
the
best
TP or
round.
faked it. Viper's pit.
I like this though. Got a good amount of delay from FUT at the moment. These two need to make a lot of sound to make sure that they don't start considering cracks on the flank.
The battle of Cracks versus Sevov could end up being incredibly important. It's such an unorthodox position, and Sevov with another triple kill. We've seen so many in that first map. Yedajay looking to try and push through and clear him, and actually lets us go down. He's been taken out by the Salvos.
Double Salvos back aside? No way.
This was looking like, again, a great opportunity.
Okay, double swing, who's going wide?
He needs to ace. He needs to find it all for them to be able to win this already. Looking to try and tag that to half, and his head has been spotted over the top of the box. It will be the defusal coming in for FUT, and I don't know how they've won that one.
Man, my heart goes out to Sevov. That's the 6th clutch he's been in on this map so far.
He got 3 kills
Every
in that
single
round.
one, and he needed an ace to win this one. Trying to carry them kicking and screaming through this round, but just too much asked. Out of Captain getting that double, phenomenal. But they recover from it. Not only finding the picks to level up the scoreboard.
Mate, come on.
Oh, there was nowhere to go.
But then the pit going down, Safe not being able to take Yedajay, who was caught looking the other way. And you can see Sevov being left last alive 6 times and feeling those rounds slip out of his grasp, feeling the gap extend in FUT's favor. That's got to be tough.
You mentioned that they struggled to get rounds on the attack. Right now, it's not looking like they'll need too many rounds. Maybe even a pistol will do the job.
Hell, the 4-8 will get them an OT.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't look like they're slowing down much.
Well, this is really where Faded needs to...
Like they're slowing down much.
Well, this is really where Faded needs to earn that paycheck, because we are currently sat with the team that won kickoff. And we haven't seen that before. The kickoff fall-off. I think it was what, KC last year. Not being able to sort of replicate the same sort of success, but it's not the same team. We're talking about a safe, less squad. And don't get me wrong, like, Kicks and Sevov are no slouches. It's just the other 3 have quite a lot of caliber to their name.
That stat hasn't held up here.
Pansy, don't ask that.
They also haven't had many openers.
I think you know what the answer is.
Slammed in a lot of scenarios. Zeus is running it down again. Back to his old tricks. Paranoia even sent through. They're just trying to get rid of less.
It seems to be the case that every time they've had that
back
opening,
to
it's
watching on
traded
the
back
TV.
almost immediately.
Oh, don't you dare.
Yeah, no, you've got to
Dude,
back
look at
off
what's
on
going
that one.
on.
Destroying the gate crash as well. Less pressure put into the backside. Here comes
Surely.
the showstopper.
Easy
Weaker
rounds.
weapons in play.
Easy
Certainly
rounds.
unsafe,
Nice
but that
util from the
rocket
fade.
will make up for it. Mr. Fallen down and out. And this is the best chance they've had so far. 5v4 conversion is high.
Guys, please.
This was a 5v3, but we're back to equal footing. Safe trying to pull it back, but he's dropped by Zeus. Again, the pressure put on as the flanker's down. It's all onto Kicks. This looked like a shoo-in, a third round at last. But instead, it's another clutch for Vitality. Not Seavoff this time, but still an impossible task with Zeus putting up the quad kill for 9 rounds.
How is my guy jumping out of heaven here, getting this kill and there's no trade?
Came back from that. Like, you lose the double opener straight into the site. Player goes in with the showstopper to clear out the back.
It looks good.
The first one is just madness, like full 180 from
Who's Pillar?
But from here on out, it's the Zeus show. They're just thriving with all of these fights, reading every position, by the way. The spin around to catch the player from behind, and well, the screams are going to echo all the way back to the coaches, because the fact is, the call was right, the play was right, the decision was right.
Everything was perfect.
They still don't manage to win the round. Multiple retakes that should have gone in their favor.
Do we not have after plant positions?
Well, you can see the confidence has only been growing. FUT, they started so passive, but they're getting more and more aggressive as the game goes by, because I'm not going to lie, Vitality look dead.
They do, dead in the water. You really have to look at that initial plan. That's really where the preparation comes in, right? That's the first 30 seconds, the first minute, the first
Don't lose a 5v3 is not a call from the coach.
No, exactly. And those 5v3s, those 5v4s, the fact that we just flew a stat that shows they're one of the best teams. Might have even said the best, but certainly way above the average when it comes to 5v4
Everyone but
conversions
Atta
and a
gets hit by
5v3
Yuto.
lost. Recovering here with a third round would be nice.
No.
Now the captain stayed in the corner.
They have to check it. He's done stuff like this so many times as well, just with these bait TPs. Krax is already in to support, though, hiding within, and they don't expect him. I think he even got tagged by a vulnerable from Yedeje from above, and a captain is still somehow here eventually again.
Man, my poor guy is trying his best.
My
guy is trying his best, dude.
Come
on, boys.
Scenario. I'm seeing
just get
what is now
just a round.
9-round streak. Does it finally end at the end of the half?
Once it's not Vitality in the clutches. It's been tough so far. I like this, though, stacked up on the backside of firing squad. An impossible task for Yedeje. He swings in, and he's out of the round.
8 HP.
Vitality, 3 rounds on the board at the half. But like we said, for FUT, even that 4-8 we called a weakness, well, here it would be enough to take them across the line.
Yeah, it has looked like some severe problems for the side of Vitality. They need to dig deep, otherwise they are out.
Is it doable with a pistol? I mean, it's always doable with a pistol, mate. It could always look worse. That's that mindset. It's that positive mindset. That was a rough one though, chat. There's no putting a good spin on that. That was really rough. Really, really rough.
The kickoff curse against the 9-3 curse. It's time to see which one will prevail. FUT versus Vitality. A map 3 on the cards, but for Vitality, that seems a long way away. 6 just to equalize. A long road back into this game, Tom.
Like and a roller coaster?
It's all about momentum.
This wasn't much fun.
Disrupted in the very last round, but I don't think they're going to let that get to them.
No, I think they are thriving. We've seen top performances from pretty much every single player within the server. The only stat that really goes in that other favor is the fact that, well, that one's more about vitality, but the fact that the attack sides of the
honestly, to be the
times we've
stat
seen
guy
it
must
this
be kind
year,
of fun.
A 4-8 attack, a
Get to
3-7
cook
attack, and a
teams.
1-11 attack for the side of FUT. So they definitely do struggle. And also the fact that they get
empty
to win
site,
this map
vitality
this year.
all
This would
together.
be the first, maybe when they need it most.
Salad
An
with the
aggressive
smoke.
start into the round, but it is
Okay,
Dirk
this
at
is
the
nice
start.
though.
We're back in a 5v4.
Pistol
Yeah,
essential
together.
here for vitality. And Dirk has already grabbed himself a double kicks, steps up to the plate for more. It's Cracks isolated.
I mean, this
in
was
the
actually
open
nice. It was like
to finish
3
out the
people all
round.
together.
Vitality have
Second
claimed
swing came in a little
their
bit late, but other than
much-needed
that, it was not
pistol.
too bad.
Still so much more to do.
It's a very weird scoreboard to see a team win both pistol rounds and only have 4 rounds. That is not something you're going to see too often. So there's definitely a very, very long way to go. The Snade to kick things off.
Enemy remaining.
Durka.
Let's go, guys. Guys, good job, Good job, Dirk. Good job on B.
Looking to get them back into this one. Still feeling
Yeah,
like there is
trying
an
to get that-
opportunity. Look back to them
look at
versus
the motivation,
Fnatic,
the
an
vibes up.
8-4 defensive half in
And
that
do it all.
18-16 victory. We know that they can play the long game. We know that they can dig deep into this one, but
There.
when you look at the individuals, when you look at the players who have been performing throughout this series so far, they are definitely on FUT side. There really isn't an argument to be had there.
Even in a round like this, I'm nervous.
Hey.
Nice conversion, nice pick on Ada Captain lurking out on B. The opening pick going to FUT made me a little bit scared, especially with the stat we just saw. But I imagine that's hampered a little bit when your opponents are on classics. Range,
Yeah,
very
some nice
much
shots
in
on this.
Vitality's favor, and it's kicks to pretty much secure
They
this
got an
one.
orb and a plant. I can't
Mr.
feel too
Fallen,
bad about it for
It's not
FUT.
like he's got a bucky.
Vitality
classic
wanting
to
to
play
keep
with on backside.
every gun into
There's no
this,
Bucky or
so
his
no more
ultimate.
deaths.
Exactly, yeah.
Those two
Maybe
things
they can lose
might
the
be able
marshal
to
about
save
it.
him, and well, I now know exactly where he is.
Hey,
On
and they
the
get
ground,
that
some kicks as
fade.
well. Farming
Fade
up
ult really
those
close, one
additional
away.
ultimate orbs towards that nightfall. Definitely going to be important. And that's the thing. I look at this Vitality squad heading onto the defense. They need to get that momentum, and I think that's exactly what they've done here.
Yeah, the rest of the shots were
Adderall,
nice. That
thanks so
one
much for the
was
2 months, man. Appreciate you.
looking,
Thank you for the
but
prime.
We'll give it to him anyways. This is what we want, and we already saw in the pistol rounds.
Just the
Seagull
train
getting
ends
the
in
squad a
Toronto
little
or
bit
Paris,
hyped
dude. I
up,
don't know,
keeping
man.
that positive energy
This is the
flowing, and
only,
that's
it's
essential
the only stop
when
I
you're in
planned.
this stage of the game. If this was a group stage matchup, if this was week 2, maybe you'd come in and go, okay, they're going to ride it off.
It's,
you might see less
it's up to them.
energy behind that. It's only natural. But
We've
here,
got no
this is your
breaks, so
last chance in
Less
stage 1.
NRG.
Depends on what speed we got.
Sorry, FNS.
Anonymous, thanks so much for the gifted, bro. Thank you, thank you.
Already.
Okay, let's check out this first big buy round. There's definitely a world where Vitality have like a
Having that
nice
early aggression,
defense,
but
and
very
they
quickly
can
fading away from it.
restore the belief.
Invested quite heavily into the rifles in the last round, so this buy definitely has some bite. Now, FUT themselves have the guns in hand. Zeus already just a few away from having that dimensional drift, and Durka, he's looking to try and catch a time, and he has to be careful of the flash, and in fact they both get caught. The 1-2 punch of Zeus and Cracks, and this round is already in turmoil.
Save goes down.
Okay,
Not an easy
next
position
round,
to connect from.
there's always a round
Marshall in the
that can
open
make
on
us
A,
stop believing again.
mid-rotate as he's picked off, and now the A site.
It's all about
very much
it's all
taken.
about the next
In fact,
round.
they're even gonna. They have so much time, and they go for an orb, and then the plant. So Zeus will have ultimate online, not expecting to have any battles to fight. And indeed, he won't.
This guy's done 3 fake TPs in the last 5 rounds.
Times in this
Every
game.
time, I think.
Just teleport into the same position and go, there's no way anybody's going to expect that.
Yeah, but he can't keep
Yeah.
getting away with this.
If at first you don't succeed, try.
Poison orb emitting.
Funnily enough, he did
sometimes.
succeed quite a few times.
Exactly.
It's now just the mind games. It's like if I now go the other way, they're going to expect that. So I've got to now not go the other way because I didn't go the other way last time.
Condition them by never doing it.
Exactly.
Think you're going to do it eventually.
Yeah, they're like,
Surely
there's
he
no
won't
way
do it
he's
again.
still doing that.
But he does.
For FUT. 10 rounds guaranteed already. And as I said, there was some bite to that round. There was a decent amount of rifles invested into for Vitality. Still though, Kicks with ultimate ready for the next, and they will still be able to purchase quite comfortably. In fact, I'm wondering if Safe may even be looking to get an operator in here.
Well, I'm seeing what's on the server.
Why the slow-mo, man?
Feeding.
This is going to be it all put in 10 to 5.
They're already dead, bro. Don't give me
Everything
the
I
slow-mo
need.
on that.
the life of stage 1 on the line. They'll put the credits up to match it. Operator for safe. Early pick towards the B site, perhaps, but take a look at where FUT are.
Okay,
all 5 players.
Op is here. Fade up for the retake. Prowler goes out, install over towards site.
One spotted. What's Zeus's idea?
Okay, we're playing solo against the Yoro.
Decoy sent and a great flash. That is beautiful from out of captain. The paranoia lands, and with it the opening pick and the A site falling. Durka, the last bastion of defense.
Come on, Durka.
Trying to sneak
Give me
forward
something.
and get some space. In fact, he's not cleared his corner.
Yeah, why would he expect that captain to just be sat there watching another obscure angle and what?
Save already?
Yeah, I don't think there's much more they can do. That execution was wonderful, by the way.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh. Sometimes you just gotta laugh through the pain. That's like the best way to do it.
Okay, now if I paranoia, he can't go back up against the wall
Sometimes
and get
it's
away from it.
unlucky.
There's no way for him to go. Like, it really is just picture perfect from the side of FUT of how they got into that site. And once you get the opener and Durka gets caught, we talked about, I don't think we saw their 4v5 conversion was awful.
Yeah.
I don't think their 3v5 is going to be any better.
With an op on the retake, yeah, I can see why they're not feeling that. And I think the only damage done to FUT in that round was salvos onto Zeus as he came out of his ultimate.
Yeah.
So
FUT's from his teammate, is what I'm trying to say.
So it's not exactly an inspiring position. And look at that, it was literally the only
I mean, it's a
damage
nice
done.
exec.
We end
It is a
up
nice
11
exec.
rounds on the board for FUT. And the most important thing is they've lost the pistol in the follow-up in both halves.
Okay, another
That's
big
4
buy
rounds.
rounds. Let's check it out from Vitality. They're playing against a comp where you have to pretty much have B main control. Surely they go B main control in this one. Don't want to give them this map control. You don't want them to use their util here. You kind of want to get the salvos out.
Is there one opportunity? Operator still in play. Rifles across the board. If you lose this one, your chances of pushing to OT, not just with the amount of rounds you need, but where your economy is going to be at. Let's just say Vitality.
They realize there's fake pressure over towards middle, and they've done a Prowler to see if anyone's pushing over towards A. It's not too bad. They're going to stack 3 over towards B because the hit over towards B is too strong. Yeah, I like this. They're going to start going active over towards B.
Vitality's favor to send them into the lower bracket is looking like a completely
just let them have side mates,
story
okay.
this time around, but Durka is there to find the start. He's definitely been like one of the few
doubling up.
beacons of hope in this map.
Wait, they're playing good this round.
Looking better on the raise, but what it's done to the rest might not have been worth
Okay,
it.
the Methodical retake. What do we got? Fade-Eye, Prowler, Flash, one satchel to send it.
Durka, nice blast pack. They still win the duels though.
Please use some util, man. Please, guys, just use a little bit of util. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of util.
The operator, he's picked off a key player. The one that was on site. Now the pressure on, but it's on to Safe instead. 45 HP and a one-way smoke blocking him out from any real hope of taking this round across the line. The defuse no longer possible, saving the op, an equally difficult task. He's boxed in. The spike set to explode, the flash good, but out of captain's there. Nothing for Vitality in the next round.
I mean, it is nicely done from FUT for having 3 there. They probably know that they like to retake over towards ramp fast.
Throughout the performances of this stage, I think this has to be the peak of a captain. Like,
dude, you got an old flash.
Insane all the way through.
Where's my fade util?
Obviously, the man is inevitable, it seems. But from that position, like, you have to look at that. That's another scenario where it's a 4v5. The statistic looking like it's being obliterated by FUT in this matchup alone.
7 chances.
And with 7 in a row needed for Vitality to survive in stage 1, it is looking like FUT will be the ones to continue forward in this tournament. Look to
Nice
make
start to the round.
that 3 streak of matches to take themselves to Toronto. We said it. They don't miss out on both Masters. That's not a common thing since partnership began. FUT have always been there.
You know it's messed up when even Yetajay, even Yetajay's laughing instead of shouting.
Trying to put the pressure on, but he gets forced back off the angle because Ada Captain was watching and waiting. They send Safe in now. Operator in hand, flash used. There's players here. Yetajay's going to peek, but the shot isn't landed. This was a big opportunity. The man advantage potentially, but now Sevov is isolated.
We're going into the corner and we have no
Safe stuck up
TP.
close. He's not caught by the ult. One player is, that might sell out the fake. They might not expect him to still be so close, and he'll get his reward, but Yedege pulls it back into their favor. Now the op stuck behind a smoke. They need another hero. Showstopper fired in for another.
Okay, good info on the two.
A real opportunity. Both players spotted.
Okay, nice.
In on the seas.
Together.
Mr. Fallen
Lovely double swing.
Survives,
Hey, that was
nice.
Life,
but safe
all right.
sends him
Apart from the omen over towards B main,
the beginning of a monstrous
too bad.
comeback. At least Vitality have to hope it is.
Yeah, I think they use both pauses in the second, so it is literally down to, or sorry, in the first half. It is down to them at this stage. No call-ins, no check-ins, unless Geist decides to give them one. Which I'll be honest, I think for a few rounds he's not going to be doing so. No. You've already seen your opponents utilize pretty much everything in terms of ultimates.
Oh man, I feel bad, dude. It's the first time I felt bad on a coach cam. I normally love reactions like that. I actually feel bad.
Stepping up though, well, it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Oh god, I mean there's a fade out there though.
In such a crucial time for Vitality, pulling out a play like that. The pit now blocking off so much the pathway they'd like to use to get back in. The plant secured and an operator through a pit. Oh, this is disastrous.
Yeah, and as they take sight, they can just push over towards heaven.
Out of the round, but his mark on this round is clear.
Playing time. They have the ultimate ready.
It's actually done.
In a matter of seconds.
You guys need to be tapping the spike 10 seconds ago.
And they still have a couple of other snakes within the grass. They also have to try and deal with every other piece of utility in play. At a captain, puts one more on the body pile. As Vitality look like they might be going out with a whimper Seavolf, unless all that stands in the way of FUT, and they will not.
Okay, I mean, nicely done for FUT.
Send Vitality
I didn't think it was going to look that bad from Vitality though.
Of kickoff, eliminated by the Turkish squad, looking to battle through that lower bracket. And I'll be honest, that was a very clean victory for them.